Okay, so this is for the subject managerial accounting and the specific topics that we're going to discuss: managerial accounting, the business organization, and then the professional ethics. All right. So first, again, let's try to explain what managerial accounting is and how important would it be, or what kind of role it's going to play with HR professionals. All right. So, basically, mas familiar tayo dun sa term na accountant lang, okay? Here in the Philippines, hindi pa masyadong, recognized or hindi pa masyadong hiwalay yung recognition for management accountants. But essentially, in, other countries, especially in the US and in the Europe, magkaiba, You have your accountant, which is focused on the financial accounting, and then meron pa silang tinatawag na management accountant or na tawag dito. Ang focus naman is with internal reporting or yung management accounting na tinatawag natin. Okay? Yun kasing financial accounting, which is normally yun talaga yung trabaho dapat ng mga accountant lang. Ang ginagawa lang nila is recording of the business transactions, tapos, of course, nag-create ng mga financial statements. And yung recording na yon, it follows yung tinatawag natin ng mga accounting standards saka generally accepted accounting standards. So, more on providing information na magagamit ng external users. Okay? Yung external users na ginagamit na tinatawag natin, yung mga regulatory agencies, diba, BIR, SEC, ganyan. Tapos, kasama din sa external users ang mga customers, mga clients, potential investors, and of course, the general public. Okay? Pero yung sa management accountant or yung management accounting, ang ginagawa ng mga management accountant is to provide internal reports na pwedeng gamitin ng management to create business decisions. Okay? And normally, yung mga information na yon internally available sa organization, pero hindi siya normally pinoprovide to outside parties or mga external users. Okay? Pang-internal use lang siya. And because of that, then, hindi naman siya nagpa-follow ng, particular accounting standards or certain rules as long as ma-provide yung information na relevant dun sa decision-making na ginagawa ng management, edi okay na. Okay, so yung sa example, di ba, financial accounting, normally merong financial statements. And dun sa financial statements, kita mo doon yung statement of financial condition, yung assets, liabilities, and equity ng company, right? And then sa statement of financial performance naman, kita doon yung revenues and expenses and yung resulting net profit or loss ng isang company. Normally, yun lang yung pinaprovide to external users. But for internal use, di ba, for the use of management, para makagawa sila ng business decisions, ano-ano ba yung mga examples? So, for example, they want to know kung aling product or service nila yung profitable, okay? So, yung information, available siya internally, okay? Pero hindi mo siya normally po-provide to the general public, right? Tapos, ginagamit syempre yung information for them to decide kung itutuloy pa ba natin yung pag-produce nitong product or service na to, or itigil na natin, or if pwede nating ituloy, pero hindi ganun kalaki yung profitability, what kind of, things can we do? Pwede ba nating taasan ang price? Pwede ba nating, syempre, i-compare mo din, ano ba yung standing natin compared to the competitors? Tayo ba yung highest price or hindi naman? Pwede ba tayong mag-increase? Or if we want to become cost leader, pwede ba nating babaan yung price natin in a way na hindi pa rin tayo malulugi pero makaka-attract tayo ng more customers? Okay? Mga ganyang type of decisions. Tapos another thing, internal din is with regards to employees naman, since HR students kayo dito. So for example, especially mga private companies, let's say school na lang, public schools funded by the government, right? And of course, they follow yung salary scale ng Civil Service Commission. So in a way, yung agwat ng salary scale ng public schools and private schools, napakalaki talaga. Okay? And one of the problems na kinakaharap talaga ng private schools is to offer salaries na in a way makaka-attract ng employees or teachers to go into their schools, sa halip na pumunta ng public schools. Because when you think about yung financial consideration lang, most of the time, mga teachers talaga is gusto ay sa public pumunta kasi andun yung highest monetary benefit. Okay? But of course, there are other factors to consider din naman, but still, yung monetary consideration is kind of the first one na tinitingnan ng mga teachers or those people that are in the academe. Okay? So yung mga private schools, of course, one of the things they want to do is to kind of upgrade their salary scale para maka-attract din ng employees. And of course, not only schools naman, other companies ganun din, especially kung maraming competitors and they want to ensure na meron silang, talented pool of human resource. So, in a way, one of the factors that attracts those kind of people are financial considerations, syempre. Okay? And then, yung information na yan, available internally, pero normally, again, hindi siya pinaprovide to outside parties. Especially kung, you're trying to protect yourself din kasi baka mamaya either gayahin ng competitors or yung competitors mo gumawa ng kanyang sariling strategy which is better than your own. Okay, so normally, mga ganitong reports, internal lang talaga kasi you're trying to protect yourself din naman from the actions of the external parties. Okay, so yan yung example natin. Alright? Tapos, again, itong sa management accounting kasi, hindi lang siya yung financial aspect ang tinitingnan. Most of the time, nakarelate din siya dun sa other aspects ng business. Hindi lang accounting or finance yung pinapakaalaman niya. Okay? Most of the time, nakarelate siya to other departments. Tapos, nagbibigay ng reports for those particular departments na magagamit nila to improve their operations or their performance. Okay? So, for example, sa production, ano yung mga nakikita nila na pwedeng i-improve. Let's say, waste ng resources. Hindi efficient yung pagkakagamit ng materials. Palagi na lang every month maraming natatapon na materials, nasasayang, which is kung i-improve yung, operations or yung process, hindi ganun kadami dapat yung maging waste ng production department. Okay? Tapos, for example, sa sales department naman, let's say, madami silang pautang, madami silang customers, pero karamihan naman on credit. Tapos, inaabot ng 90 days, 180 days before makabayad yung customer. So, that's, negative ang effect sa financial condition ng company. So, they might have to improve yung pagpili din ng customers. Yan ba ay may kakayanan na magbayad ng medyo, mas maagap. Instead of 90 days, siguro paikliin up to 60 days. Tapos, dapat merong, some sort of account manager na tinatawag na magpa-follow up dun sa customers para, mag-remind lang naman. Gentle reminder na malapit na po yung due. Okay. Tapos, syempre, yung customer relations din, client relationship to ensure na pag may issue sila na address, hindi yung after bumili is pinapabayaan na lang. So, in a way, magkakakonect yan. And the main point is, these factors may not be financial in nature, pero may effect sa financial condition ng company. So, kagaya nun, kung malaki yung period before makabayad yung customer, so, nabibitin or merong constraint dun sa cash flow ng company. Baka mahirapan din na magbayad ng sarili nila na obligations. Okay? So, they might have to improve on that. Tapos sa HR naman, siguro, tawag dito, with regards to the labor force, let's say manufacturing company, syempre andun yung burden na yung makukuha nyo na employees, kailangan ay skilled, tapos may proper training para pagdating nila sa production, efficient sila in such that in a day, meron silang, kumbaga, particular goal, number of units na kailangan nilang ma-produce in a particular day. Pero kung hindi yan masyadong skilled, let's say, kalahati lang yung nagagawa niya in a day, compared dun sa standard na dapat ay magawa niya. So, in that case, di ba, merong inefficiency. Okay, so, yung burden is nasa HR department kasi sila yung kumukuha ng tao, sila yung nagpo-provide dapat ng training. Tapos, kapag merong mga, issues or resentments ng employees, edi sa HR, ang daan. And there are a variety of issues na pwedeng i-raise ang mga employees. Di ba? Pwedeng sa payroll, minsan may question ng sa deductions, tapos yung pay kapag merong holiday, tapos may overtime, tapos minsan yung the other issues kapag nagsisilipan ng kinikita yung mga employees na yan, which is hindi naman talaga dapat. Pero, some HR would experience that. So, ayan. Tapos others pa, monetized leave credits, computation ng taxes, tapos yung deductions ng mandatory, SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, minsan may question din. Tapos benefits, kapag let's say nagkaroon ng, sakit, minsan ay kailangan ng assistance on how to get their benefits from SSS or PhilHealth. Or kapag nagkaroon ng, maternity or paternity leave, again, kailangan din ng assistance. Okay? And sometimes, although itong mga issues nga na ito is non-financial in nature, sometimes it would affect kasi yung, performance nila sa work. Maaring hindi sila maging efficient kapag meron silang mga kinikim-kim na resentments or issues na hindi pa nasisettle, which in a way would affect the financial state of the company. Kaya, mahalaga rin, na yung particular departments na-address nila or na-identify nila yung iba't ibang issues nila, financial or non-financial man yung nature niyan, and most of the time, that falls on management accounting, okay, part of the business. Pero yun nga, mas malawak yung scope ng management accounting kasi each department. Pero for this particular subject, since HR students nga, itong main audience natin dito, main viewers nito, okay, magpo-focus tayo syempre with the HR department. Yung mga particular decisions lang na pwedeng gawin ng isang HR professional with regards to the business organization. Okay? So, yun. Hopefully, enough na explanation with management accounting. Tawag dito. Dito kasi sa Philippines, normally yung internal reporting na ganyan, yung accountant na din mismo ang gumagawa, especially kapag small and medium-sized businesses lang. Yung accountant, siya na rin yung, gumagawa ng FS for submission to regulatory agencies. Tapos at the same time, kapag may kailangan na special reports or internal reports ng management, sila na rin yung gumagawa. But in a way, available naman sa kanila yung information. But most of the time, since meron siyang particular other departments na involved, so they have to coordinate then and get some of the information from those departments na related dun sa issue or dun sa particular report na gagawin. Okay? So, ayun. Tapos, next natin, business organization. So, medyo na-touch na rin natin, business organization kasi maraming departments, right? And all these departments can have, a contribution of some sort dun sa financial state ng isang company. And of course, ito namang lahat ng business departments na ito din, lahat naman sila in a way gumagamit ng financial resource ng company. Okay? Especially lahat naman ng employees, management man yan, or rank and file employees, tumatanggap ng sweldo, di ba? And of course, other benefits then. And for them to carry out their duties, minsan may budget din na pinoprovide sa kanila. Okay? And in a way, management accounting, yung may responsibility to ensure na yung allocation of resources ka-allocate siya ng maayos to the various departments of the organization. And to make sure na efficient yung utilization ng resources na yun at hindi nasasayang, kumbaga. Okay, and although sa accounting naman meron na rin na, safeguard, what do you call that? Safeguard controls, to protect yung financial assets ng company, pati na rin yung, physical assets, of course, para hindi siya magamit, hindi manakaw, hindi masira, na magiging productive talaga sila at magagamit sa pag-generate ng revenue for the company. Okay? So, lang naman, mga tipong pahapiaw lang muna and kumbaga main points lang muna ang i-discuss natin. Right? Tapos, punta tayo sa professional ethics. Basically, mamaya ipapakita ko sa inyo yung IMA Statement of Professional Practice or something with ethical. Okay, so eto na lang. As part of the management kasi, especially HR ulit, kumbaga, in the business organization, kayo yung bridge between the employees, especially mga rank and files, and the management, right? As employees yourself, syempre nakaka-relate kayo dun sa mga other employees, di ba? Kasi kung ano yung nararanasan nila, minsan karaniwan nararanasan nyo din. And you are made aware of that. And in a way, kita nyo naman yung existing problem, okay? Tapos, on the other hand, since HR kayo, technically, part din kayo ng management, okay? And as part of the management, dapat when you look into a situation, titingnan mo rin dapat yung perspective ng management, okay? Hindi yung basta-basta ka nalang kakampi sa employees and basta-basta ka nalang makikisympathize dun sa nararanasan ng employee. Kailangan maintindihan mo rin yung side ng management. Okay? And that's why you have to, yung management accounting, na in relation to your office or your department, HR, para kapag may lumapit na estudyante sa inyo, estudyante. Pag may lumapit na employee sa inyo, kumbaga kaya nyong i-explain on your own. Mahirap din kasi yung, di ba, sa inyo lalapit kasi HR kayo, they're thinking na you're aware of those particular things. Hindi yung itataboy nyo pa sila sa accounting, tanong nyo po dito sa department na to. Kasi in a way, medyo, tawag doon, hindi, for them, for the employees, since kayo yung HR, talagang kayo yung lalapitan ng tao and they might, feel, not really intimidated, pero parang hindi ba sila ma-encourage masyado na mag-approach ng other departments, especially kung hindi HR department, okay? So, ayun. Tapos, eto, gawin ko lang na example, ha? For example, tawag dito, with regards to payroll. Ito kasi wala kasing clear rules din, Meron kasing some companies, there are companies na yung payroll under ng HR department, yung preparation from timekeeping to preparation mismo ng payroll, di ba, pagko-compute nung gross pay, then other allowances or other benefits, tapos yung deduction, mandatory deduction, SSS, PhilHealth, Pag-ibig, tapos kung merong loans, ganun din. Merong companies na sila, HR department talaga yung nagpe-prepare niyan, okay? Pag-compute na ng withholding tax, sila din. But in some other companies naman, naghihiwalay, timekeeping ang gumagawa HR department, pero pinapasa sa accounting pagdating dun sa payroll computation. Okay? Pero sa mga nakikita ko, normally HR. Okay, HR yung gumagawa. But again, with regards to small and medium companies, normally naghahalo na. Okay? Ayun. So, for example, ayun, pag lumapit sa inyo yung empleyado, gustong tanungin din, paano po kaya na-compute yung sweldo ko? Bakit kaya ako may ganito na deduction? Okay? Since yung timekeeping naman is nasa HR department nagsisimula, so in a way, dapat kaya nyong i-explain, hindi yung papasa pa sa kabila. Okay? Tapos, dapat alam nyo kung ano yung mga information na available sa inyo na dapat ay kaya nyo ring i-provide kapag may lumapit sa inyo na employees upang itanong. Okay? But again, data privacy, kung ano lang yung concern nila on their own account, yun lang. Huwag nyong ilalabas yung information about other employees, of course. Ayan, tapos speaking of that, technically, ang salary ng employees, that's actually a confidential matter. Although ang mga companies merong, salary scale, yung tipong salary grade, tapos step kung magkano yung kanilang matatanggap, right? There are factors na kino-consider before, of course, before binibigay yung particular na salary amount. Pwedeng yung years of experience, pwedeng yung educational attainment ng isang tao, right? And then, of course, yung particular position na ina-applyan niya. But then, may mapapansin kayo na iba-ibang tao, although magkapareho sila ng position, sabihin na natin magkapareho rin sila ng educational background, number of years of experience, and whatnot. Pero minsan nagkakaiba yung amount ng sweldo, yung level ng sweldo. And that's one reason talaga kung bakit confidential dapat. Hindi yan chinichismis, hindi yan dapat tinatanong sa kapwa mo employees. Okay? Kasi ganito, sometimes, depende kasi, di ba, meron tayong supply and demand sa economics. let's say yung isang company is, tawag dito, nangangailangan ng isang particular na tao to fill that position. Pero since, hirap din silang makahanap nung taong mag-a-apply for that position, they could probably, increase the offer para maka-attract. So in that case, yes, pwedeng mas mataas yung magiging sweldo niya compared dun sa mga andyan na nagtatrabaho, right? Or pwede rin naman kasi meron kasi mga tao na very good in negotiating. Yung kapag andyan siya, sa interview pa lang, tatanong na magkano po bang sasweldohin ko. Tapos, we could negotiate. Pag binigyan ng figure, pwede po bang taasan natin ng konti hanggang dito. Kasi dun sa, previous work ko, ang sinusweldo ko na is about this much, ganyan. So, yan, pwedeng through negotiation kasi, pwedeng mapataas yung amount of salary ng isang tao. Okay, so in a way, merong differences. Hindi lang basta yung background, educational background, years of experience and whatnot ang nagiging consideration. Sometimes it would depend on the need of the company. Tapos sometimes it would depend on the negotiating ability of the person. Okay? Ang nangyayari kasi yung ibang mga employee medyo, ito yung hindi kagandahan sa Pilipinas. Yung nagsisilipan ba ng sweldo. Okay, tapos matanong, tapos ay nagkakaroon ng resentment. And kapag andyan kasi yung resentment na hindi na-address, ang nangyayari, nagiging pabaya sa trabaho, nagiging busangot, hindi masaya habang ginagawa yung trabaho kasi feeling niya underpaid siya. Kahit, reality naman, yun talaga yung salary level for your position. Nagkataon lang na during that time na na-hire itong isa, is kailangan talaga ng additional employee o di kaya naman is nag-negotiate siya na taasan talaga yung kanyang sweldo kasi let's say galing siya from the city, mataas naman talaga ang rate sa city compared to provincial rate. So, mga ganyang factor. So, in a way, bahala na kayo sa HR. Okay? How you're going to deal with this type of people. Ako kasi as a person, hindi ko na inaalam kung magkano sinusweldo ng ibang tao. Although, since nagtatrabaho ako sa accounting, syempre kita ko yan. Pero hindi ko na tinitingnan. Minsan hindi ko na pinapansin yung number saka yung name ng tao dyan. Okay? Huwag mo nang isip. Kumbaga, huwag nyo nang don't compare yourself. Gawin mo na lang yung trabaho mo kasi nag-agree ka naman dyan, dyan sa amount of sweldo na binigay sa'yo. And if you want higher, edi sana nakipag-negotiate ka, right? So, ganun lang yun. Dadaan sa negotiation. And then, okay, last na, before tayo mag-move on sa professional ethics. So, for example, nagkakaroon ng clamor for salary increase, ang mga employees. Ngayon, let's say yung employee lalapit sa inyo, tatanong, may salary increase ba tayo, ranking year, ganyan, promotion, kailan bang promotion natin, magkano ang tinataas during promotion, ganyan, So, meron kasi, for example, di ba may mga, I'm not sure if naririnig nyo, di ba, may mga groups minsan nagre-request sa regional wage board na taasan yung minimum wage. Kasi normally kapag tumataas ang minimum wage, syempre yung salary scale ng mga companies na-adjust din pataas, right? So, ayun. For example, nagkaroon ng clamor for salary increase. Let's say, nagre-request ng 1,000 a month, okay? Dun on the perspective of the employees, hindi ganun kalakihan, yung 1,000 a month, especially kung merong inflation for that particular time period, right? Yung 1,000 na yun, tingin ng employees medyo maliit na halaga, right? But on the perspective of the management, yung 1,000 na yan, i-multiply mo by 13 months, kasi diba 12 months in a year, tapos may 13th month pa, tapos kukumputin mo pa yung employer contribution, diba sa SSS Health Pag-ibig, tapos, multiply mo pa yan by the number of employees na meron yung company. Okay? Pag na-compute na lahat-lahat, mapapansin ng management, okay, million ang halaga niyan. Okay? And also, yes, sabihin na natin na millions din naman yung kinikita ng company. You have to understand na normally, millions din ang ginagastos ng mga companies na yan. And of course, it's also a different matter kapag merong plans yung business na mag-expand, magtayo ng panibagong building, mag-open ng panibagong branch. Siyempre, nagtatabi yan ng pera for those particular projects. And hindi nila basta-basta pwedeng gastusin yung naitabi na nila for those purposes. Okay? Para lang i-satisfy ang mga employees. Kasi normally, gina-justify din. Hindi naman sa basta-basta i-ignore yung clamor ng employees, but they have to, do a careful analysis nitong mga bagay na ito. Hindi basta-basta umoo ang management. And I have to consider anong magiging effect nito on the overall budget of the organization. If we say yes to this, yung mga projects natin na hindi matutuloy, okay? Or, can we do a compromise? Pwedeng hatiin ba natin 500 per month lang, pero, di ba, malaking halaga pa rin kapag marami yung employees. Ganyan. Ayun, so example lang naman, okay? And then, again, as HR, ito yung gusto ko lang natandaan nyo, as part of kayo of management, so you don't just look at a certain situation from the perspective of the employees, kailangan titingnan nyo rin yung perspective ng management. Okay? In a way, medyo, parang ipit kayo between the two parties. Pero, that's your role kasi kayo yung bridge nga ng employees saka ng management in a way. Okay? So, hanggang dun lang yung ating business organization na discussion. Technically, may, some tawag dito, elements na rin naman siya regarding professional ethics. Okay? But we'll discuss yung IMA, Statement on Professional Ethics. I'm gonna show you the handbook. Okay, so ito yung handbooks of some sort or booklet from IMA, Institute of Management Accountants. Okay. Meron kasi silang IMA Statement of Ethical Professional Practice. Okay. Ito yung about sa IMA, skip ko na lang, but I will be providing yung link to this document in the description ng video. Tapos, ito na, diretso tayo, Statement of Ethical Professional Practice. Okay? Members of IMA, hindi lang naman members of IMA, I think this would also apply to all professionals, I think, okay, shall behave ethically. A commitment to ethical professional practice includes overarching principles that express our values and standards that guide member conduct. Okay? Di ba sa Philippines, we have different professions. We have the PRC as well, di ba, Regulating Commission. But yung individual professional professions, normally meron silang kanya-kanyang code of ethics, right? Accountants do have a code of ethics din. And I think companies din, they do provide sa kanilang employee manual yung code of conduct na tinatawag, okay? Which is, in a way, parang code of ethics na din, okay? How you should conduct yourself as an employee of the organization, okay? But this would apply to management accountants and itong professionals na rin, Okay, principles. IMA's overarching ethical principles include honesty, fairness, objectivity, and responsibility. Members shall act in accordance with these principles and shall encourage others within the organizations to adhere to them. Okay? Yung standards, responsibility to comply with and uphold the standards of competence, confidentiality, integrity, and credibility. Okay? Yung failure to comply could result to disciplinary action. So, yung una, competence. Paano ba i-display yung pagiging competent mo? Maintain an appropriate level of professional leadership and expertise by enhancing knowledge and skills. Okay? So, for example, management accountant ka, dapat alam mo kung ano yung mga duties and responsibilities mo, alam mo kung ano yung gagawin mo in preparing different reports. Okay? And you should know kung paano mo siya, i-communicate then with the management of the company. Okay, as HR professionals, syempre dapat updated kayo sa mga laws, rules, and regulations affecting your particular profession. Siguro mga DOLE issuances, BIR issuances with regards to withholding of taxes from employees. Tapos yung mga regulatory bodies, kapag merong changes dun sa tables of contribution ng SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig, dapat aware kayo doon. Dapat nakaantabay kayo doon. Tapos kapag meron ding change in the minimum wage, 'di ba? So kailangan alam nyo rin. Tapos syempre, if you have to adjust yung salary scale ng company nyo because of the increase in minimum wage, dapat alam mo kung paano siya gagawin. Okay? And then, of course, yung payroll din, so that you can properly explain sa employees kung paano ba nangyari yung ganyang information. Okay? Tapos, of course, I know meron naman kayong other duties and responsibilities din. Yung mga 201 file ng employees, pag-prepare ng contracts for them, employment contracts, clearance, exit form, or kung ano-ano pa. Okay? But since, again, subject natin managerial accounting lang, so I'll be focusing more on yung somehow I related with the management. Okay? Alright. Tapos yung number 2, under competence pa rin, perform professional duties in accordance with relevant laws, regulations, and technical standards. And then provide decision support information and recommendations that are accurate, clear, concise, and timely. Recognize and help manage risk. Okay? Kasi nga, normally support sa management for them to be able to make informed decisions. Okay? So you have to provide itong support information na kailangan ay accurate, clear, concise, and timely. Okay? Second, confidentiality. Tapos, especially ngayon, meron na tayong data privacy law. Ayan. Keep information confidential except when disclosure is authorized or legally required. Inform all relevant parties regarding appropriate use of confidential information, monitor to ensure compliance. Okay? Sabi ko nga, yung sweldo ng other employees, technically that's actually confidential. Pero yun nga, pinagchichikahan na lang ng employees, di ba, kapag wala silang magawa, minsan nagtatanungan, magkano ang sweldo mo? Magkano benefits mo? Ganyan. Anyway. Refrain from using confidential information for unethical or illegal advantage. Okay? So, yan. Pinagkatiwala sa yung information para protektahan mo, hindi para gamitin mo to your own advantage. And then third, integrity. Mitigate actual conflicts of interest. Regularly communicate with business associates to avoid apparent conflicts of interest. Advise all parties of any potential conflicts of interest. For example, HR ka, diba? Tapos, alam mo yung mga vacancies ng positions. And then, you have a friend or maybe kamag-anak mo na naghahanap ng trabaho. Okay. In a way, I think merong certain companies na hindi ina-allow yun, yung nepotism. That's why dun sa initial interview, tinatanong, meron ka ba ditong kamag-anak within the 4th degree of, affinity or consanguinity? So, yun. Conflicts of interest. Okay, but there are sometimes na, di ba, merong ina-allow yung exceptions, especially kung kailangan talaga na ma-fill yung position, tapos walang ibang mag-a-apply, walang ibang available, kundi yung kaibigan mo or kamag-anak mo. Okay, but of course, with the management approval. Okay, but still, it's conflict of interest pa din. And normally, pag ina-allow yung ganong exceptions, normally hindi siya magiging under sa'yo or hindi mo siya magiging subordinate, okay? As long as yung position would be in another department, tapos iba yung magiging supervisor niya, so yan, ina-allow. Pwedeng i-allow, okay? Refrain from engaging in any conduct that would prejudice carrying out duties ethically. So, for example, nasa HR department kayo, di ba? Meron kayong, kunwari, merong favorite employee, lagi nyo katsikahan, laging tumatambay sa office nyo, tapos kung ano-ano chinichika. Minsan, ang tingin ng iba, of course, it's inappropriate then, okay? So yan, refrain from engaging in such activities, okay? Abstain from engaging in or supporting any activity that might discredit the profession. Okay, ingatan nyo rin yung pagiging HR nyo. In a way, between employees, kailangan andun pa rin yung tawag doon, hindi naman barrier, pero kailangan clear na HR officer ka or HR employee ka, and hindi ka yung sabi ko kanina, hindi ka basta-basta makiki-oo sa employees. Kasi ikaw, bridge ka to the management, kita mo rin kasi yung tawag dito, yung perspective dapat ng management in a particular issue. Hindi ko naman sinasabi na makipag-argue ka din sa employees, pero kumbaga, do not necessarily provide your, kahit pa sabihin na sarili mo yung opinion, since you are working in the HR department, kailangan refrain yourself from giving out opinions na dapat meron kang professional opinion din. Ano? So, yun. Since andun ka sa profession na yun, hindi professional opinion ang ibigay mo, not the personal opinion. Although, in a way, yes, you can relate. Kasi nararanasan mo rin yung nararanasan nila na kunwari, maliit yung sweldo, naliliitan kayo. Okay, but still, di ba? Have integrity. Okay, tapos yung last, credibility. Communicate information fairly and objectively. Okay? Very important in communication, especially, di ba, mga employees yan. So, kapag merong changes na mangyayari in the policy of the organization, kailangan properly informed ang mga employees. Okay? Tapos, anything that would affect the employees, so, kunwari, yes, nag-announce ang regulatory agencies na magkakaroon ng increase in the mandatory deduction. So, di ba, tataas yung deductions nila sa payroll. Although, sure, merong, national coverage, national press, itong mga regulatory agencies na to, maganda pa rin na i-communicate ng maayos sa employees. Kasi baka mamaya hindi sila nanonood ng news, hindi nila alam na may mga ganyan na pala. Baka bigla kasi silang magulat na, oh, ba't ang laki na ng dineduct sa sweldo ko? Especially kung, nagbabudget sila at may pinaglalaanan. So, it would really disrupt them. Or in a way, it could cause them to, have some sort of resentment. Anyway. And then, provide all relevant information that could reasonably be expected to influence an intended user's understanding of the report's analysis or recommendations. Okay, pag magawa ng reports normally, di ba, kung ano yung available information currently, yun lang syempre yung kaya mong ibigay, kaya maging basis ng decision or yung recommendation mo to the management. Pero let's say merong, may naririnig na kayong news dyan na may bala or may may balak mag-request ng minimum wage, ganyan. And you as a professional, syempre, narinig mo na rin naman. So, pwede mong isama as a note probably dun sa report mo na although there's a possibility of a salary increase in the future, pwede mo na rin kasing isama, na baka po maka-affect sa budget ng by this much or something. Okay? Mga ganun lang naman. Okay? And again, proper communication. Tapos later on, let's say nakapag-submit ka na ng report, tapos may bagong information na pumasok na related dun sa report mo, you have to revise the report accordingly. Okay? Ayun. Number 3, report any delays or deficiencies in information, timeliness, processing, or internal controls in conformance with organization policy and or applicable law. So, ayan na nga. Kapag merong additional information, bagong dating lang, pasa agad. Okay, tapos timeliness, huwag mo na intayin ng isang linggo. Okay, pag na-receive mo yung information, na-process mo na, pasa na agad. Okay, processing, ayan. Matutong mag-prioritize. Yes, marami tayong, trabaho, HR professionals. Marami na naman kayong trabaho bukod sa, in relation to management accounting. But you have to learn to prioritize. Especially, again, part of management. Kapag ang management may hinihingi na reports or may kailangan na information, as soon as it becomes available to you, kailangan prioritize mo siya kasi kailangan nila for decision making. Okay? So, priority. Alright? Baka mamaya kasi mas inuuna mo pa yung clerical works, nagpa-file ka lang nung 201 file, nagpa-file ka lang nung biodata nila. Okay? Baka inuna pa yun. Okay? So, again, priority. Meron kasi merong mga, especially mga new workers, minsan hindi nila alam yung prioritization ng work. So, just a reminder. Number 4, communicate professional limitations and or other constraints that would preclude responsible judgment or successful performance of an entity. Okay, so again, you have this information, right, na available sa'yo. Yan lang yung ginamit mo to make a report or recommendation for the management. Pero alam mo na you still need a certain information kaso hindi siya available. Okay? So, you have to communicate na if itong information na ito maging available and let's say ang result ay ganito, ito po yung magiging, possible consequence or possible effect dun sa organization natin. Or kapag ito namang kabaliktaran, yung naging information na yun, so ito naman yung effect. sa organization. Okay, so kailangan i-communicate mo yon. Okay, although wala yung information, but it could affect the decision, communicate pa din. Okay, para lang alam nila na in case dumating tong information na to, edi syempre they have to change their decision accordingly kung kabaliktaran yung kanila. Okay, tapos last na to, promise, resolving ethical issues. Ang haba na pala, no? In applying the standards of ethical professional practice, the members may encounter unethical issues or behavior. May ma-encounter ka talaga na ganyan. In these situations, the member should not ignore them, but rather should actively seek resolution of the issue. Okay? Hindi mo lang siya basta-basta i-ignore, kailangan na i-address, kailangan i-resolve. Okay? Kasi kung i-ignore mo lang yan, andyan pa rin yung problema, maaaring lumaki, maaaring maging cause of resentment, mas malaking problema later on. Okay? Syempre, mas maganda kung the earlier it arises, the earlier din siya na ma-resolve. In determining which steps to follow, the member should consider all risks involved and whether protections exist against retaliation. Okay? Yung iba kasi hindi rin tawag dito. Pag may alam sila na issues, one of the reasons kung bakit ayaw nilang i-resolve is yun nga, kasi baka mag-retaliate, di ba? Baka maging kaalitan mo, baka mamaya siraan ka na, chismisin ka, ganyan. So, have to check kung merong protections against retaliation. Okay? So again, although nabanggit ko dito members, this applies to all professional naman. Applicable naman to all professions. When faced with unethical issues, the member should follow the established policies of his or her organization. So kung meron na sa inyong employee manual, kung anong gagawin for that particular situation, so you have to follow that, right? Including use of an anonymous reporting system if available. Pero kung wala, if the organization does not have established policies, the professional should consider the following courses of action. Okay? Una, the resolution process could include a discussion with the professional's immediate supervisor. Okay? So, yan. Merong employee, ang kailangan mong kausapin yung kanyang immediate supervisor. Pero, kung yung supervisor appears to be involved o di kaya ay ka-close niya masyado at medyo bias itong si supervisor dito sa particular employee na to, na yun, the issue could be presented to the next level of management. And normally, itong next level of management, dadaan sa HR. Okay? Kasi HR naman, normally under niya yung lahat ng mga supervisors, mga managers. Right? Tapos, IMA offers an anonymous helpline that the member may call to request how key elements of the IMA Statement of Ethical Professional Practice could be applied to ethical issue. Okay? This one is specific for IMA members. Yung pwede ka mag-consult nung particular situation mo, kung anong dapat mong gawin. And then ito, the member should consider consulting his or her own attorney to learn of any legal obligations, rights and risks concerning the issue. Okay? Siguro, for example, meron kasing, di ba, yung mga nababasa lang natin, yung tinitreaten yung position sa company or yung employment sa company kapag hindi mo sinunod yung gusto niya or kung ano man. So, di ba, ang normal suggestion is that, resign from your job. If they're trying to make you do something unethical or something illegal or something morally wrong, they do suggest na mag-resign ka na lang, hanap ka na lang ng ibang trabaho. Pero andun yung reality na minsan mahirap maghanap ng trabaho, minsan maganda naman yung, position mo dyan except for that particular situation na natitreaten ka or na-intimidate ka. But still, again, personally, kung ako yon, magre-resign na lang din ako. Okay? Ganun. And again, it's anyway. But still, the decision is yours. Pero, suggestion, kapag naka-face kayo ng ganyang situation, do resign. Huwag niyong hayaan na gamitin kayo ng ibang tao para gumawa ng hindi maganda. Okay? Kasi yung sarili niyong integrity, sarili niyong conscience, it must remain, clear for you to, in a way, diba, self-respect, to maintain your dignity din, ganyan. Okay? If resolution efforts are not successful, the members may wish to consider disassociating from the organization. Yun nga, mag-resign na lang. Okay? Dito kasi sa atin sa Pilipinas, hindi naman uso yung, di ba, magko-consult with an attorney. Kasi normally, ang tingin ng tao, pag magko-consult ng attorney, mahal, yung professional fees or something. Although I'm not actually familiar with this kasi hindi ko pa rin naman siya natatry. Pero I'll do a research about this. Kung gaano ba talaga kamahal mag-consult with an attorney. Okay, so yun lang for this particular video. Again, diniscuss natin, again, difference ng management accounting from financial accounting. Tapos you have your business organization, the types of decisions that you could make in relation to, management accounting and the HR. Tapos, itong last is the professional ethics. Alright, so that's it for this one. Thanks and bye.